Hey YouTube, what's up? My name is Ellie or Elliot. I'm a non-binary trans guy, and this video is about how I was threatened in the street and I filed a complaint with the police, and this is the story of what happened. So, I'm guessing this is going to get a little bit more views than my normal videos because what I usually do is like testosterone updates and transgender health stuff. But this is a little bit more juicy, I guess you could say. So, for anybody who doesn't know me, I was born female, assigned female at birth, and at a certain point, I realized that's not the life for me, so I changed genders. I've been taking testosterone for 4 years, and this is why I look and sound like a dude, which is great for me because I feel like that, so that's good. Um, a few months ago, I was filming an online training session because I'm a physical therapist and a personal trainer, and that's part of my job. I was outside my house here in Barcelona, in Catalonia, Spain. I'm not going to give any more details than that because I think, one, it's illegal, and second of all, I really don't want anybody finding me or the other guy, and it's the internet. So, what happened? I was outside my house in my neighborhood, in a little park in front of two schools. Sounds like a pretty, quiet and peaceful place to just be shooting a video, right? I mean, I was there with a tripod, filming myself giving a workout, when suddenly six teenagers, I thought they were teenagers. It turns out that at least one of them was actually not a minor. Um, six teenage boys, I thought, came and circled me, and they came very close. Like I could feel the warmth of their body, and one of them whispered, and I heard it. So they were pretty close, and they called me maricón and said, te voy partir la cara, maricón, or maricón, te parto la cara, which literally means, faggot, I'll break your face in half. So I wasn't thrilled about that. Actually, I was pretty scared because I'm not a huge guy, and I'm definitely not a violent guy. And there were six of them, and one of me, and I didn't want any trouble. So what I did is I just grabbed the phone and the tripod, and I walked away, and I entered the school that was 200 meters away, and they stayed over there. So as I came in, I told the school people, like at the entrance of the school, I told them like, "Hey, are these your kids? Because they just threatened to beat me up and called me maricon." So maricon is faggot, so it's not a really nice word to call anybody, regardless of whether or not they're gay. So the people at the school were like, "These are not our kids, and we're calling the cops." So I stayed there until the cops arrived, and when they did, they kind of interviewed me and asked me if I wanted to file a complaint, which she said, "You know what? I think I do." Because fuck these guys, right? Like, I was just minding my own goddamn business, and six of them, like, scared the shit out of me. Like, I didn't feel like taking it, to be honest. And then the cops had me come outside and point at the guy who actually said he was gonna beat me up. So I did. And that, they took my declaration, and that was that. Now, that was a few months ago. Ever since then, I've been avoiding that particular area, and I never wore the same outfit that I wore that day. And I had colorful hair, like I had blue hair at that point, and I shaved that off. Like, I didn't want them to recognize me. And I didn't want to run into any of them in like a dark alley or something. So when I see kids like 15 or 16 or something like that, I just cross the street and I try to not look at anybody in the eye, and I try to just not attract attention. Because I just want to live my life in peace, and I'm a little afraid of these guys because, you know, they could easily beat me up. So that was a few months ago, and then I got this letter from the city of Barcelona, which says that I am subpoenaed to trial under penalty of 200 euros up to 5,000 euros, which is, I guess, something that they do because a lot of people don't show up to trial. So I had to go. It's not like I had a choice whether or not to go. I had to go. So I'm guessing he got the same subpoena that he had to go as well. And when I say he, I mean the guy who said he was going to beat me up, which I pointed my finger at when the cops came. That dude, which I'm not going to say his name because I don't want anybody coming after him. Anyways, I was subpoenaed to trial, and when I got there, I asked to have visual protection, which means that he doesn't see me during the trial, which if you are the victim of a threat is something that you can ask for. It said so in the letter that they sent me that I can ask to not be seen. And it makes a lot of sense because we live in the same neighborhood and this actually happened really close to my house. So I preferred he didn't see me because he never got a good look at me when we were in the park because they came at me from the back and I never turned around to face them. I just walked away, just minding my own shit, walking away. And then when the cops came, I had my mask on. So I don't think he got a good look at me, though I did have quite a while to look at him because I was sitting at the school and I was looking at him from inside of the school. Anyways, I didn't want him to get a good look at my face, so when he saw me in the neighborhood again, he would recognize me, that's all. So after he gave his testimony, which I didn't hear because they put me in a different room, they asked for my testimony, and he was present in the room when I gave it, but he couldn't see me because there was like a screen, a one-way screen where I could see him, but he couldn't see me. So they asked me to look at him and tell them if that's the guy. So I confirmed that as far as I can say, that's the guy. And then they asked me what he had said to me. So I said, I just repeated those words, te parto la cara maricón, which is not the nicest thing in the world. And I think I said it like 5 times. It didn't feel so great. And after we went through that, and I told him my version of the story, which is exactly what I told you guys, the defense lawyer got to ask me questions. So he asked me, uh, is this the guy, or is it possible that it was one of the other guys? So I told him, look, this is definitely the guy, but maybe some of the others were talking like that as well. And then they asked me, like, how many times did he call you maricon, and how many times did he threaten you? So I said, you know what? I'm not sure they said it more than once, and I don't want to say something that's false. And then I think it's really important when you go on trial that you really say the truth, because how's the justice system supposed to function if you don't? Anyways, he asked me if I was insulted by the guy calling me maricon, and I said, to be honest, no. Like, it wasn't about that. I was just scared. Like, there were 6 of them, and I thought they were gonna beat me up, but I don't care that they called me maricon. I think this goes under whether or not this was a hate crime. And since I didn't feel like actually offended by the fact that he called me maricon, like, okay, to be honest, this is kind of sad. He was calling me maricon, and that means that he saw me as a man. Now, for me, a trans guy, that's actually better than a lot of other things that could have happened. So, you know, he treated me as a guy, but not as a freak. So, what I'm guessing is he was kind of being homophobic, but he had no idea I was trans. So, at that moment, I was actually passing. So, I'm not even mad. This is so bad. Like, calling a trans guy maricon is not a compliment. But for me personally, it's not an insult either. It's just like he told me, you're a feminine man, and in my vision of the world, that's not a good thing. And in my vision of the world, being a feminine man is not a bad thing. So we have different terms for that, but I wasn't offended. What I was though is I was scared they were gonna beat me up, so that's why the whole thing. Anyways, I think those were all the questions that the lawyer had for me. Whether I recognized the guy, how like was I insulted, and how many times, like that. And then it was pretty much over. The judge explained to me that they were gonna ask for a punishment of 700 euros of fine. Now, just to be on the same page with everybody, 700 euros is something like a salary, like a month's salary if you work a shit job. Like, that's a lot of money. And we were only getting to the trial itself because the guy had refused the bargain deal where he would only pay 500 euros if he admitted to the charges. Now, the court said that he was going to pay those 700 euros to me, or the 500 euros of the bargain deal. And in both cases, I said, I don't want his money. I don't, And then the judges said, okay, but like the court is asking for the money in your name. It's not you. This kind of thing should not be tolerated. And this is why the court is going to charge him the money. So I say, so if it were a bargain, I would be like, okay, because that's kind of better for him because he doesn't get a criminal record, right? So I would take the money and give it to like a trans charity. Like I wouldn't keep any of the money anyway. But since he refused the bargain and we went to trial, if they found him guilty, they were gonna fine him 700 euros. So I said, so they asked me if I want those 700 euros. Like, do I ask for compensations? So I told them, no, I don't want his money. And I asked, can I please add something to the record? He said, yes. And I said, I asked for mercy for him because I think he was just trying to show off to his friends. And I don't think he was actually going to beat me up. I think he was just trying to look like a tough guy, you know? I wish him no harm, and I don't want him to get a very heavy punishment. I just wanted him to leave me alone. And, I turned over and I looked at the guy, and he looked like a kid, man. Like, he looked like a kid. And I was really just thinking, like, we all do shitty things sometimes. And I really wish that. I really wish that he finds another way to be a man that doesn't involve him threatening people and showing his friends how he can beat faggots up. And I wanted him to walk away from that, knowing that the faggot didn't want anything bad to happen to him. Because I think people like that are in a dark place, and I didn't want to bring any more darkness on him. You know what I mean? It's like he refused the bargain because he didn't have money to pay for it, and they were gonna give him like even a higher fine. I don't know. I just it sucks that we live in a world where he felt a need to do something like that. And it sucks that we live in a world where I had to go through that. And I hope I don't have to go through that again. I just hope it doesn't happen again. But if I try to like sympathize with him a little bit and think like, okay, what's long term the best way for him to let go of the kind of this like violent toxic behavior, it's probably not being severely punished. It's it's probably a better thing for him to like hear that the guy he was threatening thinks that he's not a bad person and has some understanding for him and isn't trying to like use this opportunity to get some money. And that's it. I mean, it was a shitty thing from beginning to end. And when I came out of the court, I like cried for a little bit because fuck this world, right? And I really wanted to like get my version out there. All of that said, homophobia is not cool. Transphobia is not cool. People coming at you are not likely to distinguish between the two. They're just gonna throw random shit at you. And I really hope nobody has to go through that. But in the long run, I really think that there's like, if there is a way to show compassion and be nonviolent towards people and I don't know, believe the best of people, then that's always the better route to go. You know, or maybe I just watched too much Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's also a possibility. Anyways, I wanted to explain this, and I hope this is not relatable for any of you because I hope none of you have ever gone through that shit. And I wish that guy takes a better road in life, and I really hope I never run into him again. Okay, that's it. I'm probably going to be informed of the decision of the court by a letter, and when that arrives, then I'm probably going to put that online too. I Peace.